This woman took the life of 7 premature babies while she was working as a nurse at her local hospital. She managed to get away with doing this for years without never being caught. And the big question is how did she get away with this and why did she do it? She has now become one of the most biggest serial killers in the United Kingdom, and I'm going to tell you all about this crazy true crime story, so make sure you watch to the very end. And as always, in every case there is always a mystery, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any more videos. This is Lucy Letby. She was born in January 1990 in the United Kingdom. As she was growing up, she came on to study nursing, and she actually went to Chester University in 2011 to study nursing, and actually qualified at the end of 2011 to be a qualified nurse. In January 2012, she joined Chester Hospital as a brand new qualified nurse, and she came along to help with premature babies and babies that need additional support after they're born. So she was brought to this hospital as a newly qualified nurse, and she was there to help out everything with premature babies and just a really good nurse in general. Lucy Letby was a normal person. She had a normal job, normal friends, normal family. Everything about her was just so normal. You wouldn't suspect anything about this woman. You know, she's a nurse, she's in a hospital, she helps save lives. That's at least what everyone thinks she was doing. She was so normal that actually she managed to slip under the radar in the serious crimes she was committing, because nobody thought she would do it. Nobody thought she had that in her. Nobody thought what she was about to do she could be capable of. But in reality, she was evil, and she was actually doing stuff behind the scenes that managed to slip under the radar for many, many years. In 2015, Chester Hospital actually had a very significant rise in the passing of babies, specifically in the mortality of babies in that section. Compared to all of the other hospitals around the area, Chester Hospital had a significant rise. Something wasn't going right at this hospital, and in 2015 the alarm bell started ringing. Why was Chester Hospital having more babies unfortunately pass away and having these tragic events happen at this hospital? What is happening inside this hospital, and who is responsible for it? Or is it just you know, something that magically happened? Like, something was really suspicious about this, and it took a long time for them to figure out what was going on. The hospital team tried figuring out what was happening. Like, how could these babies keep passing away? What was the common denominator between all this? Is there something going wrong with the machine, the equipments? Like, is the hospital doing a good job? They all doubted themselves. They all had many questions, and nobody knew in the hospital. Even nobody, the parents, nobody knew what was going on at Chester Hospital. Although this name was coming around the hospital about how bad it was, how it's dangerous, and nobody still, until that day, knew why. Until one day, things changed for the worst. Because this was a massive concerning thing going on in this hospital, the hospitals came together and tried to pinpoint what was going wrong here. And they managed to look through all the books, all the routines, all of the shifts that these nurses were working, and they found one thing in common. And that was, at the death of each baby, the time of each baby passing unfortunately away, there was one nurse always on shift, and that was Lucy Letby. She was always there at every time a baby would unfortunately pass away. So they put 2 and 2 together, and the hospital team and staff actually accused Lucy Letby of doing something malicious towards these babies. Now, of course, Lucy Letby at the time denied all these allegations, said she would never dream of doing this. Most of her friends backed her up and said there's no way she could do this. In fact, they actually all believed her in some elements. You know, they literally said how she could never do this. And Lucy Letby denied all allegations, it denied everything, all the wrongdoings, and said it was not her, this must just be a coincidence, and none of this is to do with her whatsoever. Lucy Letby actually in fact accused and blamed the hospital for the reasons of the passing of these babies. She said it was nothing to do with her, she was just doing her job. It's actually the hospital's fault why these babies are unfortunately passing away. And because of this, they basically believed her. They believed that Lucy was a qualified nurse, she would never do anything to put any babies in danger. She worked specifically on the premature ward, so all these babies had health conditions or were premature, and nobody ever thought Lucy Letby would do something so cruel to any babies. And that is when things then turned for the worse for Lucy Letby. In 2018, she actually got arrested on suspicion of trying to attack children in her company while she was working at the Chester Hospital. After she was arrested, the police searched her house and found some very disturbing notes that she had been writing while she was working at Chester Hospital. Some of these notes say that she hates herself. She deserves this. She did what everybody thought she was doing. These notes were basically her confession, almost. That she was in fact actually involved in the passing of these babies. After they found this, they rearrested her in 2019 on suspicion of actually murdering babies. After she was arrested in 2018, it was believed that she was supposedly put onto bail, and then she was rearrested again in November 2022 and actually charged with the passing away of all of these babies. They basically said that this was Lucy and they have enough evidence to prove. So once they arrested her, the big question is, what did she actually do? How was she getting away with this for so long? What was she doing to slip under the radar and make this hospital have their cases of premature babies passing away so high? Well, she did something the most evil person can ever think of. She was actually pumping extra oxygen into premature babies. She was overfeeding babies, and some babies she even actually injected insulin into them to make them fully pass away. Lucy Letby was a trusted nurse. She was supposed to be looking after these premature babies, but instead she was pumping oxygen, extra oxygen into these premature babies. She was overfeeding them. And not only that, she was actually injecting insulin into these babies, all under the radar for many years. In fact, she was actually convicted with killing 7 of these precious little babies. Later on in the investigation, and as she was going to court, the police and the court actually found out that she was trying to take another 6 more lives of these babies. She already took 7 and she was trying to take 6 more. That is 13 premature babies that she was trying to get rid of. This was a trusted nurse, a nurse who was supposed to be looking after these babies, but she completely went against her obligatory to look after these babies. People put trust in her with premature babies to look after them, and she completely went against everything and did something extremely evil. And even to this day, it's a mystery. Nobody knows why she did this. She didn't say why she did it. Nobody knows the actual intention as to why she did this. She has refused to say anything about the situation. In fact, in August 2023, not too long ago from making this video, she was actually sentenced and she did not even turn up to a court hearing sentencing. That's how much this is a mystery. She didn't even want to turn up to her own sentencing, and she got life in prison. Now in the UK, it's very rare that anybody gets a full life sentence. Well, Lucy Letby got 2 full life sentences in the United Kingdom and is now known as one of the most dangerous serial killers in the United Kingdom. And the worst part about this case for many people is the way she's being treated inside a prison. Most serial killers across the world will get handed a stone bed, no curtains, literally to rot in jail for the crimes they did. Whilst Lucy Letby has got this room. She's got curtains, bedding, toys, effectively, pictures. She's got everything. It almost seems like a life of luxury. She gets to go to classes. She gets to go shopping inside a prison to feel nice about herself, buy new clothes. She gets bedding, nice mattresses. Yet she took the life of 6 premature babies, and now she's being treated like this in prison. Do you guys think this is fair? Because I personally don't. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment below. And as always, with every case, there's always a mystery. So make sure you subscribe to me so don't miss any more future true crime videos. And I just want to say my heart and prayers go out to anybody who was affected by this case. Friends, family of the victims, the babies. It's such a sad, sad case. You know, Lucy Letby denies all wrongdoing. She said this isn't her. Some of her friends say it's not even her who did it. Some people say it is. Regardless if it's true or false, those poor babies lost their life to inadequate service, inadequate care in a hospital. And regardless who's to blame, those babies will never live their life. It's a really sad case.